Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm building a tank for some wild bettas, Betta Rubra. So we're in my house today. I don't want to keep a whole bunch of tanks in the house because I have my fish room, of course, but I think these guys are so pretty that I kind of want to see them every now and again, especially when I'm just chilling out at home. I'm going to keep them here next to my corridor barbatas. Now these guys are a tropical fish. They come from Indonesia and they do like a temperature between 24 and 28. So there is going to be a heater in this tank. But I'm going to use the same airline that I'm running this tank off, and it's a lot easier for me to run a couple of nano fish tanks off one pump. I really want to keep this tank simple. I found a dinosaur skull at like one of my pet stores when I was getting some doggy food, and I just was like, oh, Jurassic style? Hell yeah. I'm only going to use 3 kinds of plants in this build because I want it to kind of be like this messy jungle sort of style. I want these fish to breed within this tank. Now these guys will eat their fry, but what I'm hoping is to create so much camouflage within the tank that the fry will survive. So let's get started and see if I can make a better community breeding tank. Starting off, we're going to pop in our substrate. Now this is some coarse black gravel that I have had in a previous tank. I've ended up with quite a bit of it, and I did use it on my last build, and I'm going to use it here as well. It's full of beneficial bacteria and will help my tank cycle quickly. Something that I did want to mention with these bettas is they are a wild type of betta and can be kept in a little community, which is what I'm trying to accomplish here. Now these guys have lived together for quite a while now, above a couple of my plecos growing out, and I've never had a problem. It isn't the same as keeping the fancy bettas that we all know and love very, very well. These guys, of course, cannot be kept together. Going in with some hardscape, I just wanted to pop some rocks underneath the skull just to elevate it a little bit. My skull will be the main centerpiece. This will provide a dark, cave-like area for the bettas to hide in and feel a little bit safer in their environment. Something I did want to mention was that I got these fish at a meet for the Aquarium Society of Victoria, which I totally recommend to anyone who is in Victoria to attend because there are so many cool people there breeding and selling so many cool fish. Plus the meetings are great and you get some great information and you learn so much in just a couple of hours. So highly recommend that. If you guys are in the area, look it up. There'll be a Facebook link in my description. And I've added in my sponge filter and heater. Now for some plants. So the first of the 3 plants that I'm going to use for this build is some Java fern, because it wouldn't be one of my videos without some Java fern. I've only added 2 pups to this tank build, and I've just placed them directly under where the skull will be placed back in. I've just glued them down to the rocks. I think this will just give it a little bit of lush vegetation, especially as they grow bigger and taller. It will give that sort of really jungly tropical vibe. Fun fact, Java fern is actually native to Indonesia, which is where these bettas are from. So it is the correct plant to be paired with them. Next, I'm going to add some Anubias pups. Look at how cute and small. I've got 3 of them that I'm just going to glue down to the rocks as well. Now these are just directly from some larger Anubias plants that I have, and I've just basically broken them off to make some more. Propagation at its best. They should slowly grow in this area because it is covered by the skull. They're in a really nice position under some shade, so they're not going to get too much light. Plus there's going to be a lot of vegetation above them. All the plants that I'm using in this build are super beginner friendly. Java fern, Anubias, and the final plant that's coming up, which is guppy grass. All of them are really, really easy to grow and don't require a lot of maintenance and fertilizer. So I'm just going to pop the skull back where I positioned it and fill in around with some guppy grass. This is the 3rd plant that I'm going to use and the final plant. So I just picked up some guppy grass from one of my favorite fish stores of all time, which is the Fish Room. So many thanks to Ewan out there. Definitely recommend to go visit him and have a look at what he's got. He actually gifted me this big bag of guppy grass and the tank, funnily enough. So I'm going to use them for these beautiful fish. After placing the 2 bunches in here, I've decided that I'm going to fill the tank up. I want to sort of see how the guppy grass is positioned within the tank, and the best way to do this with this kind of stem plant is to do it while the tank has water in it already. A lot of my other videos, I usually will plant all my plants and then fill with water, but for this particular plant, I want to see how it flows within the tank. So I'm going to continue placing bunches of guppy grass that I have anchored down with some plant weights just to keep them within the substrate so that they can root properly. Guppy grass doesn't actually need to be planted. It can float within the aquarium and continue to grow. So you definitely don't need to plant this plant, but I just wanted to have that sort of aesthetic where it was coming out of the substrate. I'm putting basically as much as I can in this tank. This is to create a lot of hiding places for the fish and for any fry that they might produce. The more places that the fry have to hide, the more likely they are to survive. It also will allow a whole lot of infusoria to be created within the tank, which, even though I will be feeding baby brine and powdered food, it'll create some extra food for those babies. I couldn't be happier with how this tank has turned out. It really does remind me of like a jungle scape, which is really, really cool. And I'm excited to get the fish in there. I am going to be popping a lid on this tank after I've released the fish, because these guys are jumpers. So if you are looking into this species, I would recommend getting a nice tight lid for the tank before getting the fish in there. So yeah, I hope you guys like it. Now we get to release some fish. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave me a comment, because I definitely want to hear your take on this tank and the fish that we're popping in there.